Yeah, back in my natural habitat of Redondo Beach. Got my coffee, already swam, not out there, although I could. Very nice place to swim. Being active is one of the things that I think makes kids want to do yoga, but they have to be active. It's no good sitting around meditating the whole time or getting calmer. Kids generally don't want to get calm until they get tired. Of course, there's exceptions. Some kids are very happy to get calm because they don't have much calmness in their life. Nowadays, there's a lot of talk about trauma kids who've experienced trauma and how yoga can help them. The reality is that this entire world is traumatic. Every single moment is trauma. We get judged, we get thrust into a competition that maybe we don't even want to be part of. All of this is trauma. This world is a traumatic experience. You know, there's an idea that says there's no order of difficulty in miracles. One thing is not actually harder to have happen than another thing. And when we talk about kids being in trauma, it's the same thing. You know, whether you're a kid who grew up in a place where they're dropping bombs, or whether you grew up in a place where your mother's hitting you, or your father's drunk, or people are just putting you constantly into boxes and judging you and competing against you and forcing you to compete against other kids. That's all trauma. So I don't think that there's a size of trauma. Trauma is trauma. But clearly yoga helps. So, you know, if you have the possibility of helping kids in some way, help them, whatever their trauma. And probably their trauma is the same as yours. A human being stuck in a temporary body thinking that's all that's real. There's so much more that's real, my friends. And that's what every Kid is Groovy is about. Finding the place where we're reminded that we're not stuck in a body and we're not our limitations, we're not physical beings only. Because as a spiritual being, or as a spiritually part of the oneness, there is no such thing as trauma. Or at least there's no trauma that's bigger than your spirituality or your connection to all that is. So let's try and focus on that. Goodness me, that's a lot to think about. However, every kid is groovy. We hold these principles to be true, otherwise they're not. Notice the use of shadow there? Every kid is groovy.